Welcome back to eHealthversity. Today, we're talking about a tragedy from 1937 that shook the United States and forever changed how we regulate medicine: the Elixir Sulfanilamide Disaster. It's a story of innovation gone wrong, lives lost, and lessons learned. So let's get started. In the 1930s, medicine was on the cusp of a revolution. Antibiotics were just emerging, and one drug, sulfanilamide, was hailed as a miracle for treating infections like strep throat and gonorrhea. It worked wonders in tablet and powder form, saving countless lives. But there was a problem. Not everyone could swallow pills, especially kids. Enter the S.E. Massengill Company, a Tennessee-based pharmaceutical firm eager to cash in on a liquid version of this wonder drug. Massengill's chief chemist, Harold Watkins, was tasked with creating this liquid elixir. He found that sulfanilamide dissolved nicely in diethylene glycol, a sweet-tasting, clear liquid that seemed perfect. To make it appealing, they added raspberry flavoring and saccharin. They tested it for taste, smell, and appearance, but not for safety. Why? Because, shockingly, no law required them to. At the time, U.S. drug regulations were weak. The 1906 Pure Food and Drug Act mostly dealt with labeling, not safety. Companies could sell almost anything as long as it wasn't misbranded. So, in September 1937, Massengill shipped 240 gallons of Elixir Sulfanilamide across the country to pharmacies and doctors, no questions asked. But within weeks, something horrific started happening. Patients, many of them children, began falling gravely ill. They suffered nausea, vomiting, and excruciating abdominal pain. Then their kidneys failed. By October, reports of deaths were pouring in. The American Medical Association sounded the alarm, and soon, investigators pinpointed the culprit: diethylene glycol, or DEG. Diethylene glycol wasn't just any solvent, it was a poison, similar to antifreeze. It caused kidney failure, and there was no antidote. By the time the FDA got involved, over 100 people had died, including 34 children. One mother wrote a heartbreaking letter to President Franklin Roosevelt, describing her daughter Joan's agonizing death. She said, "All that is left to us is the caring for her little grave." The FDA scrambled to recall the elixir, but they faced a bizarre hurdle. They couldn't seize it for being dangerous, only for being mislabeled as an elixir, which implied it contained alcohol, which it didn't. Thanks to tireless efforts by the FDA, AMA, and local health officials, they recovered most of the 240 gallons. But the damage was done. The public was outraged. How could a company sell poison as medicine? The tragedy exposed the gaping holes in drug regulation. Harold Watkins, overwhelmed by guilt, took his own life before facing trial. The Massengill Company's owner, though, denied responsibility, claiming they couldn't have foreseen the disaster. They paid a small fine and settled with victims' families for about $10 million in today's money. But the real legacy of this disaster was change. In 1938, Congress passed the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. For the first time, companies had to prove their drugs were safe before selling them. They had to test them on animals and submit data to the FDA. This law laid the foundation for modern drug regulation, saving countless lives since. The Elixir Sulfanilamide disaster wasn't just a tragedy, it was a wake-up call. It showed what happens when profit outpaces caution and regulation lags behind innovation. It's why today, every pill, syrup, or shot you take has been tested for safety, thanks to the 105 lives lost and the families who demanded better. That's the story of Elixir Sulfanilamide, a dark chapter that led to brighter days for medicine. What do you think? How far have we come since 1937, and what more can we do to keep medicine safe? Drop your thoughts in the comments, And if you found this video eye-opening, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories like this. Until next time, stay curious.